All right, so today we are working on the Troy-Bilt TB110. Now, if you guys remember, I did an unboxing video on this years and years ago, probably 2.5, 3 years ago. And we've been using this quite often, to be honest. And it's been a great mower, except for one problem. It just randomly cut out one day and it wouldn't restart. And we pinpointed the issue to some dirt actually in the gas tank. I guess maybe there was some dirt in one of our gas cans and we poured it in here and it got clogged up because we took the carburetor off, and the carburetor was actually clogged up with a little bit of dirt. So we cleaned it out and we ran it again with fresh gas, and it stopped again. It did the exact same thing, and now we are believing the carburetor is again clogged up because if we try to run it off of starting fluid, it will run, obviously because it's getting a fuel source from the starting fluid, but it will not run on its own, which means the carburetor is clogged up. So first thing you're going to want to do to get in to fix this issue, keep in mind we're going to be taking apart the carburetor, is you're going to want to take this little beauty cover off, whatever you want to call it. So got the impact here. This is a what is this? This is a 5/16 socket right there. Gonna flip it over, make sure not to lose these bolts. I don't know where you would even find replacements. Take those off, and there's 3 of those. One right there, and one right here. You'll see them on yours if you have this same issue. Then we take it off. You can just put this up here, just lay it there, and then here's the engine. Carburetor is right over here, and this is what we're going to be taking apart. I'll show the process of that in a minute here. All right, so the next thing you're going to do here is go ahead and get off this little cover here for the air filter. Now it's on this side right here, right by the gas tank, and all you do is you unclip this little clip at the top, and then you can just take this off right there, set that off to the side, and then you could take your air filter off here, which might be a good idea to change this while you're at it. Mine's a little bit dirty, so we might go in and change it. Set that off to the side, and there will be 2 bolts here and 2 bolts here. The 2 right here are black right here, you can see, and then the 2 right here are silver. I believe the black is, or no, the silver I believe is 9/32. If I'm wrong about that, I'll put it up on the screen. And the black ones here are a 8mm right there. In fact, let's just go and see. Yeah, so the black ones are 8mm and the silver ones are for sure 9/32. So you take those out, and then this right here just pops right off. You have to make sure this little hose right here, make sure it gets disconnected. Mine just pretty much fell right off. It's very simple. So there's that. And then from here, you have to get the carburetor off. So all you do, there's no bolt holding this on now, is you just simply very gently pull. Okay, and you can see right there, it's actually coming off. But before you do that, you need to get all of the gas here out of your fuel tank. Now, unfortunately, this has a pretty full tank, so we might lose a little bit here, but that's all right. So from here, what you have to do is you see this little hose right here, right there. It's going to the carburetor from the fuel tank right there. You have to unclip these little clips here, okay? Now, this could be a little bit difficult. We have a needle nose pliers here. Try to get in there. And you have to compress these clips. I'm going to show you the best I can, which I don't know if I could really do it on camera. Come on, give me a second. There we go. You have to compress these clips, and then you just move it down. And yeah, this is a little bit difficult to show on camera. If you want to just go in and skip forward a little bit, it might take me a second. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get this off. Or maybe I'll do it on, no, I'm gonna have to stop the clip and get that off. All right, so I got that fuel line off there. It helps to go ahead and get some channel locks. You could probably get it with the needle nose pliers here, but I got channel locks. I got that little clip off, and then you have to pull the hose off of that little part right there, that little stud if you want to call it, and then all the gas will come out. Make sure you get a big enough container. I believe this will be big enough. Just going to open this up just to maybe help it drain. And yeah, it's definitely going down. Now that little screen right there, that obviously didn't do much. Dirt got through there, I guess, and you could actually almost looks like a bunch of sand on in the bottom of the tank. That's weird. That's not good. You do not want that in your gas tank. So let's go and put that cap on, and we could actually leave it off to help it drain a little bit faster. But once that's out, I believe this will pretty much just pull off here, which I'll try to show on camera. And then you have to get these old metal rods here off of here. This is for like the speed control and stuff. Make sure not to bend these, or else you could mess them up pretty badly. And actually you could get this off without waiting for the gas to drain. So let's go and try that out. You don't grab onto the metal part, you grab onto the plastic. Let's go and pull it off. Should just pretty much come off. There's nothing else holding it on. There we go. And just like that, it's free. Make sure you didn't damage that O-ring. In this case, I didn't. I just need to push it back on a little bit. And from here, you get these metal rods off, which you basically do by just wiggling this in the right direction. It'll come off. So I can't really show that on camera very well, but it will come off. You'll see when you do this in real life how they come off. So let's go and get that off now. All right, so here's the carburetor. You really need two hands to get these off. Again, you'll see how they come off. That's the kind of pattern right there. You need to move this in a certain direction to get them off, but it only took me maybe 15 seconds after I stopped the video. So here we go. So next thing we're gonna do is go ahead and disassemble this. You really need to pay attention on how this thing comes apart. Otherwise, great, it's spilling gas everywhere. Otherwise, if you don't, you could cause real big damage to this little thing and maybe even have to replace it. So I'll go and show how to take this apart now. I also went ahead and took off the gas tank here to clean this thing out, and look in here. I don't know what this is. It looks like sand, but this thing is coated. I don't know how this would have gotten in here. I really don't. So this is not good. You do not want this going through your fuel tank. So to get this thing off, you basically just take it off right here. It clips on, not even clip, it just slides on right there. And then you just simply pull up on it. Once you get that hose disconnected right here, just pull up on this. Getting easier with two hands. And boom, just like that, it's disconnected. So I'm gonna flush this thing out with some water. That's not gonna hurt it as long as you let all the water evaporate before you put any gas in this thing. So let's go and do that now. All right, so the next thing you're gonna want to do here is, again, you have to go back to the carburetor here, and you have to take out these two bolts on the bottom here. This is what they look like. In this case, one of ours was black, and then the other one was chrome silver. I don't know why they're different colors. Anyways, when you take those two out, be prepared for a little bit of gas to come out. You can take off the little bolt here if you want to drain the gas out, but there's definitely going to be a few drops in here. Now in this case, these bolts here were let me flip it around here, a 9/32 right there. Focus on that. There we go. And you just take those out, and then you have to get a big flat screwdriver and pry between here, and this top should just come off just like that. Be sure not to have any of this fall out. This is what the inside looks like. Now this little hole right there, I'm trying to focus right there, that's what we need to clean, that little hole. So you need to get like a little needle or something, put it in there and get any dirt out. Also, while you're in here, be kind of careful of this O-ring here. This is obviously what seals everything, so then gas doesn't get out. You might want to clean it while you're in here too, and if it's damaged, you probably need to replace it. So there you go. So next thing we're going to do is take this out and go ahead and clean it the best we can, and then that should fix our issue. All right, so you're really going to want to take your time when cleaning this. Again, what you do is you get a needle and you put it in this little hole right here. Okay, not the top one there where that little ball is, but this one. Okay, put a little needle in there, and maybe something will come out, maybe not. In this case, nothing came out on ours. Maybe when it was sitting there a few days soaked in gas, it just came out on its own. Anyways, you'll see when it's clear. You can kind of see, you can see right through it right now because of the light. That's what you want to see right there. That's when you know it's clear. What you can also do is you could blow on this little hole right here. Make sure some air comes out of here. Or you could even put a little hose, which is what we did, and put some water in this. Basically, obviously, you don't want water in your carburetor, but it wasn't much. So we just put some water in a hose, blow through it, and make sure it comes out, and that would flush anything out. So let's go ahead and now put the little bottom thing on here. And by the way, you want to be very careful with this. This is the float. It's very sensitive. You don't want to mess it up. And also, if no water or anything comes out here, and it looks like this, you have to have the float open for any water to come through. If it's closed, nothing's going to go through. So next thing you're going to do is put the little bottom part on here with those 2 bolts, and then we're going to basically just reassemble the way we took it apart. All right, now if you're coming back in case you missed a step or something, another thing you might want to do if the previous method didn't solve your problem is take this little piece out here. Now this sits down in here. I believe it's, no, it's this way. Just like that, sits like that, and you want to pop it out, okay? So you get a tiny little flathead screwdriver, push it between the black part here, the white part here, and this should pop out. Now you want to get some carb cleaner or something along those lines, some sort of a solvent, and spray it through this little hole right there that we previously cleaned, and it should come out the end here. And in this case, this little end is on here. You probably want to leave this on here to make it come out. So as long as something after you spray in here comes out of the end here, then it's guaranteed to be unclogged. So next thing you want to do is just simply push this down in here. And I'm going to do that off camera, but you want to push it down in there, make sure that O-ring seats in there. And in this case, we're going to put the float back together. We took that apart just to get out of the way. So next thing we're going to do is put this back in and button it all up. And we're also going to add a fuel filter. I'll show you guys where we're going to be adding that. All right, so this is the fuel filter we got. It's a Briggs & Stratton part number right there, 298090S. We got this at Lowe's. In this case, I already took it out of the packaging. I'll just show you back here the instructions and stuff right there. It's very simple. You just need to cut your line and then simply install it with a clamp, which is exactly what we did here. This is the factory line that came on this thing, and we just cut it and put the filter right there. You can see we already have the carburetor installed, and we have the fuel line going to the carburetor right there. Also the fuel tank installed pretty much all the way. So pretty much from here, all you need to do is connect this hose, put in a few bolts, put on the cover up top, and then boom, everything will be put back together, and hopefully it runs, which we'll get back with you guys when it becomes that time. All right, so now we have the mower all assembled. It took probably, I don't know, 2 minutes to put all together. It's very simple. Again, just a couple of bolts and a few little connectors, and now it's all back together the way it was. Now we have the gas tank filled up a little bit here, about half a tank in case this thing doesn't start. I don't want to waste a bunch of gas, so let's go and pull it a few times, get it started. There we go. That's the first start. We didn't try it before we started recording, so that was the first start since the new filter was put in and everything, and it looks like it runs fantastic. So it's really awesome. Now we can finally mow lawns. There we go. So I'm going to go and try this out for about 10 minutes. Just make sure it works completely. Then I'll get back with you guys and go ahead and tell you my my thoughts on fixing this thing, and make sure of course that it's working correctly. All right, so as I said, I was going to mow for about 10 minutes, and I actually did about 11. So if this thing was going to have any problems, well, they would have shown themselves already. And so far, again, it did great. I was mowing for about 10 minutes straight, didn't stall out, didn't have any problems at all. It did perfect, probably better than how it has in the past year. So as far as I'm concerned, this fuel filter pretty much fixed our issue, probably permanently. Again, the problem is that we had a bunch of sediment in the tank. You guys saw that. I washed the tank out. I did that off a camera. Just ran it under a faucet a couple of times, got all the sediment out, and put some new gas in it today. Of course, added the fuel filter, and now the fuel filter is going to catch any dirt that for some reason would have gotten in this thing. And of course, the fuel, or the dirty fuel that was in here, got to the carburetor before the new filter was in there, and that's what ruined it. So with the new filter, as far as I'm concerned, again, our issue is going to be completely solved. I'll do an update video if this happens again, which I'm hoping it won't. But there you go. Again, if you're having this problem, of your Troy-Bilt mower just cutting out even or just not running at all, this would most likely be your issue. You need to take that carburetor apart, clean it, and then add a filter in, and that should fix your issue. So there you go. That's how you fix the no run issue on the Troy-Bilt mower. Definitely, it seems like a decently common issue, and it's definitely an annoying issue too if you don't know how to work on one of these. But hopefully this video cleared that all up for you guys. So yeah, guess that's really it for this video. Hope everybody enjoyed, and don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see y'all next time. Goodbye.